What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm out here at the Quick Trip, Roberts, Wisconsin, I-94, exit 10. I'm about 48 miles away from my delivery tomorrow at 0900, so that means some good relaxation. Before I get any further, I want to give a shout out to a guy that watches some of my videos. I'm sure he probably watches some other people, but his name is Ben. If you've ever seen him in your comments section, if you have a YouTube channel, just had a chance to run into him, and he came to Prime as soon as he turned 21 years old. Became a trainer out there, and then he's since gone on to Landstar, and he's and paid off a lease. So shit, you're talking about a young buck like that paying off that lease. And anyway, so that's just wanted to give a shout out to him. Now, one thing we were talking about, among other things, was this Quick Trip here has a huge lot, bigger than the Flying J across the street. As a matter of fact, better amenities. I went in there and got a whole chicken. This thing's like $6, and I'm gonna tell you, this thing here is so juicy. I was looking for injection marks. I don't know if they injected this with some Tony Chachere's or something, but that is a damn good chicken. So way better than the Flying J. But guess what? This lot is 3/4 empty, and the Flying J across the street 3/4 full. I don't get it. I do not get it. Even if you're like, well, I gotta get a shower, we get free shower, whatever. I can see knocking out a shower over there, then coming over here. Spot so big you don't got to worry about anybody tearing your shit up. But anyway, enough about that. I wanted to talk about, I was looking through my contracts and everything on Prime thing, on our Prime app, and I noticed that we are coming up on my 4th year of leasing with Prime. Coming up on December 11th, 2019 is when I did the first regular lease on my gray 2021 Peterbilt with the little Linus football that looks so stupid on it. So anyway, 4th year. And just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. When I first got in the lease, obviously I mentioned it several times. People were saying I was going to be going broke and eating ramen noodles and all that kind of stuff, and calling Prime drivers glorified company drivers and things like that. Now, first of all, before I get into this, I do want to say that Prime has exceeded my expectations. Now, I know sometimes I will, be critical about some things. Some things might irritate me, and I will mention that, and that's part of the reason why, I talked to a lot of people. Just spoke with a guy, been at Prime like 13 years, and he just said, you know what, man, you say the shit that I don't have the platform to say, But anyway, I know I mentioned stuff that kind of irritates me or that I'm critical of. And the only thing I can really say about that, because some people maybe, I don't do it excessively, but a lot of people that I know that were in the Marines were very critical of the Marines and were irritated about a lot of things that the Marines did. And you know what? Most people, including me, love the Marines way more than where they're working at now or anything like that. So I've been critical about the Marines during my time and even after that time. And that doesn't mean that I care about that anymore. As a matter of fact, it's the fact that I care about it so much that I might be critical about it. And I'm not just doing this little Facebook bullshit where, there's just like where it's just a statement made and no remedy or why you even got to that point. So anyway, 4 years at Prime, leasing, and exceeded my expectations. I kept my first lease for about 9 months. It was kind of near the beginning of COVID, so it took a longer time for the truck to come in. Now, that was a mistake of mine. At the time, they were offering me to just do lease purchase straight out the gate. And I must have been in touch with my feminine side because I was like a little too scared to do it. So I basically wasted 9 months right there. So anyway, I did that lease, and then people were saying, man, you're going to get hit upside the head when you go turn that lease in. They're going to charge you for every little thing. I think I paid like $400 to turn in that lease. And the majority of that $400 was something that I didn't catch when I got it. It was just a stupid knob. But so that process was simple, easy. You know, I've done 3 lease purchases that are already at Prime now, 1 on the way. The first lease purchase was a little bit frustrating just because I didn't know the process. And for those of you guys that are gonna lease or do a lease purchase with Prime and you're expecting Success Leasing to give you a call and walk you through the process and all that kind of stuff, forget about it. Just take all that pressure off of you. You're gonna know when your truck is gonna come in when Stars and Stuff gives you a call. So once I understood that, everything's been smooth sailing since then. As far as my experience just running one truck under Prime, that, you know, that's been very lucrative. As far as running a fleet under Prime, that hasn't been quite as lucrative. A lot of that was just issues that I was having last year with really one truck more than both trucks. But either way, both trucks kind of going down. And then I think Springfield Peterbilt is a crappy dealership, and I think that had I not got held up by them, it would have been a totally different story. But before I go any further, I do got to give credit to the people that I think makes me successful. Fleet manager, payroll, and logs advisor. And I'm starting to add road assist to that trio as well. So we make that a quartet, because I've been dealing with them a lot more than I ever thought I would. Like earlier today, if you didn't watch the video, I don't know what happened to this tire, but that thing was like flat, and it went flat like immediately. So road assist, that's really what's made me successful, is the team around me. And I can't forget to give credit to the most important person in making this thing work, and that is me. I would say I'm just joking, but I'm not joking. Without my mindset and the way I take a long-term view on things, a lot of people would have thrown in the towel on this last year. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to make it, whether they mentally couldn't take it because it was very draining, and some people may not have been able to make it because of financial stability as well. So I'm glad I went into it with a long-term vision, and with money set aside to go through some of the problems that I had. And I'll be the first one to tell you, you know, especially if you're going to be operating more than one truck, there's almost literally no amount of money that's too much to have within reason. I mean, if you were to tell me last year 50,000, I'd say, you know what, that's a good amount to have or whatever. But man, that 50,000 can go away pretty quick when you have one truck down and you're paying for hotel rooms and downtime pay and shop bills, and then another driver takes off in a few days or whatever. Then as soon as one of the trucks gets going, another truck goes down. I mean, you can run through some money pretty quick. But that's not a Prime issue. That was me and my situation. So in terms of making everything easy, it's been great. Yeah, so really, you know, maybe at some point I can dig a little bit deeper into this, but overall, couldn't have been happier with my decision to come to Prime. Like I said, no company's perfect, you know, but the funny thing about it and doing these videos is I got some people, well, not people, you know, somebody will be like, you're complaining about Prime too much. And then on the other hand, I got people saying, man, did Prime pay you to say that? Or why you gotta be, I forgot what words were used, but basically being a Prime fanboy, drinking all the Kool-Aid. So no matter what kind of a video I do, there's gonna be some critiquing that goes along with it. But that's about it. The last thing I'm gonna leave anybody with, I just got off the phone with somebody that's coming, you know, wants to come to Prime. He weighs out just earlier today. You know, when it comes to this leasing stuff, the difference between you being successful and not successful is sometimes the difference between you picking a truck because you like that color and that being the lemon in the bunch. And you know, how much you roll into this with as far as financial back and things like that, and mental stamina. You know, last year I spent 5 months out on the road because I had to offset the losses on the other 2 trucks. If I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice, this whole thing could have folded up. And it could be the same thing with the regular leasing one truck. So understand what you're getting into when you come into this. If for no other reasons, well, I guess I won't hear it anymore because I got off most of them Facebook pages, but for any other reason than to be whining and having everybody have to deal with your misery at the same time. So come in prepared and understand, if you succeed, it's because of you, and if you fail, it's because of you. It's not because who's president. You know, in my case, you know, I don't have God to lean on. I can't be like, you know, get me out of this, you know, whatever. So take all that on yourself. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to get to this chicken because, boy, that thing is good. As a matter of fact, I might have to get another one. And like I said, if you haven't, how somebody would go to Flying J across the street with that same tired ass stuff over there and not come over here, fresh salad, you know, fresh salads, you know, like I said, it's like a full grocery store up in there. Anyway, enough of that lecture. I appreciate you stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.